Today we're making Bun Cha Hanoi, which is Vietnamese pork with noodles. If you're watching this expecting a bubbly chef who tells you how absolutely amazing everything is, you're in the wrong place. This isn't your mom's cooking show.
Sizzle, sizzle.
This is where we make actual good food while acknowledging the crushing weight of existence. This might look like just a piece of meat, but in about 40 minutes, it's going to be the only reason you get out of bed tomorrow morning. Let's begin our descent into Flavor Town. And unlike that guy with the frosted tips, I actually know what flavor is.
I'm Guy Fieri.
I visit Vietnam every year, partially for the food, partially because it's one of the few places where my resting face is considered normal and not concerning. Last year, an old woman in Hanoi called me her gloomy spirit animal. It was the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, but it doesn't really matter actually. Well, apparently it's time for part 1 of this so-called masterpiece, the prep and marinade. Are you ready? Because I'm not. But let's do this anyway.
Let's do it!
Bun Cha is a dish from Hanoi, Vietnam. I visited once and made an old woman laugh so hard she nearly died when I told her what Americans think Vietnamese food is. Cultural exchange is beautiful. First, you need pork shoulder with fat. If you want lean meat, go watch a show hosted by someone who cares about your dietary restrictions. I don't. See these fat bits? They're like the one friend who actually makes social gatherings tolerable. Without them, everything is dry and sad. Like most conversations about the weather. Now for the marinade. We need garlic. Lots of it. Garlic is like darkness. There's never enough in mainstream recipes. You know, the ancient Egyptians worshipped garlic. They also worshipped cats and built massive death pyramids. They clearly had priorities straight. Oyster sauce, sugar, fish sauce. The holy trinity of making things taste better than your life feels. Fish sauce smells like something died, which it did, but it tastes like something was reborn into deliciousness. It's like the goth phoenix of condiments. Shallots are just onions that went to private school, but they do taste better. I hate admitting that. Mix this all together like you're stirring a cauldron of delicious revenge against everyone who said you couldn't cook.
But I can cook. I chef it up.
I bet that.
I'm using a food processor because I don't feel like proving my knife skills to strangers on the internet. Also, the therapeutic benefits of knife work are highly overrated
But hand-chopped meat tastes so much better.
compared to the therapeutic benefits of finishing cooking faster. Everything goes in at once. The marinade, the meat, my diminishing patience. Pulse it until it looks like something you'd want to eat. Look at that efficiency. This is what separates humans from animals. Well, this and our ability to feel existential dread. Form these into small patties, like little meat hockey pucks of happiness. I don't know why I said happiness. I meant flavor. For the sliced portion, you actually have to use a knife. Unfortunately, technology hasn't advanced to the point where robots do all our knife work. Yet, slice the rest thinly, like how thinly people slice through social niceties when they really just want you to leave their party. Let these marinate for at least 30 minutes. Longer is better, like naps or isolation. While that's happening, we're making pickled vegetables. In Vietnam, they'd use a variety of vegetables, but we're in what I call Whitesville, where the most exotic vegetable is a red onion. So, carrots it is. I tried doing that fancy flower cutting thing they do in Vietnamese restaurants. My first thought was, this looks easy. My second thought was, I'm about to lose a finger for internet content. After this near-death experience, I realized I value my fingers more than your visual entertainment. Sorry, not sorry. I'm going with little sons for the rest. Because nothing says I've given up on perfect like calling circles sons. Plus, I'd like to keep all my fingers. I've grown somewhat attached to them. Literally. Add salt and let them sit for 15 minutes. This draws out moisture like how small talk draws out my will to exist. Fun fact: pickled vegetables help you digest fatty foods. This is how people in Asia stay thin while eating delicious food. Meanwhile, Americans invented diet soda and still have an obesity epidemic. Not judging, just observing the beautiful tragedy of human choices. After 15 minutes, rinse and squeeze out the water, like wringing out your hopes and dreams. Add sugar and vinegar. The sweet and sour combination is like the duality of existence, pleasure and pain coexisting in perfect harmony, or whatever. Let these sit for at least an hour. Use this time to contemplate your insignificance in the vast universe, or check TikTok, whatever works.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever you say.
Now for the dipping sauce, which is the soul of this dish, much like how darkness is the soul of my personality. The ratio is 1:1:6. Sugar, fish sauce, water. It's so simple that if you mess this up, just order takeout and lie about making it yourself. No judgment. We all have our strengths. Heat this gently until the sugar dissolves, like how my patience dissolves when people talk about their CrossFit routines. The authentic version would have me mincing garlic and chili for this sauce. But this is my kitchen, and in my kitchen, we don't do unnecessary labor. I'm not mincing more garlic for a sauce when I already minced it for the meat. We'll add sriracha at the end because this is about making food that doesn't take all day. Life is short, too short to mince garlic twice. That's it. The sauce is done. This will tie everything together, like how existential dread ties together my daily experiences.
I mean, it is what it is.
Now for the main event, cooking the meat. I'm using an air fryer because it's 2025 and I'm not trying to make my kitchen smell like a meat sauna. 360 degrees for about 20 minutes. Make sure they're cooked through unless you enjoy food poisoning as a hobby. While this cooks, let's talk about food history. Bun Cha became internationally famous when Anthony Bourdain took Obama there for his show. Before that, it was just regular famous in Vietnam for being delicious. Sometimes it takes a former president eating something for Americans to realize other countries have good food. We're nothing if not predictably ethnocentric. Looking good, unlike most of my life decisions. The sliced pieces will cook faster, about 10 minutes. Watch them carefully, like how I watch people at parties to determine the optimal time to leave.
Okay, I'm going.
Assembly time. This is where it all comes together, like the pieces of my fragmented personality. First, the dipping sauce goes into a bowl. Some people serve the meat directly in this sauce. I'm doing that because extra dishes are for people who enjoy washing dishes, not me. Add the meat to the sauce bath. Let it soak up that flavor like how I soak up true crime podcasts. On a separate plate, arrange the noodles, fresh herbs, lettuce, and pickled carrots. In Vietnam, they'd have a whole farmer's market of herbs. I have mint and lettuce because, again, Whitesville. Now for the sriracha. Remember how I skipped adding garlic and chili to the sauce? This is the shortcut. Sriracha is basically spicy garlic in a bottle. It's the lazy person's solution to flavor, and I'm not ashamed of that. Some food purists would be horrified by this. Good thing they're not here. And if they are, feel free to turn this video off and go hand grind your own chili paste. And there it is, Bun Cha Hanoi. Wow, this is actually really good.
Amazing. That place was good.
The fatty pork with the tangy sauce, the fresh herbs, the chewy noodles. It's like a party in your mouth where you actually want to be there. The contrast between the warm meat, cool noodles, crunchy vegetables, and aromatic herbs is why this dish has survived for generations. Unlike most TikTok trends, which barely survive a week. In Vietnam, they eat this by taking some noodles, adding herbs, then dipping it all into the meat sauce. It's like a DIY flavor experience. Where you can't really mess it up unless you try really hard. See how the sauce clings to everything? That's the magic of fish sauce and sugar. Sweet, salty, tangy, all the flavor profiles your brain is hardwired to crave. So that's Bun Cha Hanoi, a dish that's worth the effort, which is not something I say often about anything. If you try making this, let me know. Or don't. I won't lose sleep either way. But you should make it, if only to experience something genuinely
Good.
in a world of mediocrity and disappointment. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is authentic, it's as authentic as possible,
Close enough, baby.
given the constraints of living somewhere where fish sauce is considered exotic. Cultural appropriation would be claiming I invented this. I didn't. I'm just showing you how to make it while being somewhat entertaining. You're welcome. When I visit Vietnam each year, I eat this at least 3 times. Not because I lack imagination, but because sometimes when you find something perfect, you don't need alternatives. It's like finding the perfect black t-shirt. You just buy 5 of them and call it a wardrobe. April. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to make another batch of this while watching documentaries about the inevitable heat death of the universe. Bon appetit, or whatever.